The Zionist lobby and US politicians. A better love story than Twilight. Terrible movie. I'm your host Mohamad and welcome to That's Messed Up.
That's messed up.
Today, let's focus on something more terrible than Twilight. More terrible than ketchup on steak. Let's focus on money in politics. And more specifically, Zionist money in politics. When we see the United States send over $3 billion annually to Israel. When we hear US politicians like the United States of America's President, Sleepy Joe Biden, say things like this.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region.
It really makes you wonder.
Why?
In the words of Ilhan Omar, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. And I guess she would know, allegedly. So let's see how much our favorite politicians make from the Zionist lobbies. First up, our main man, Sleepy Joe Biden, who can barely stand up on a flight of stairs, but can firmly stand with Israel. According to OpenSecrets.org, between 1990 and 2024, Joe Biden received over $4 million from pro-Israel lobbying groups. Oof, that's enough to keep even Joe Biden awake. We also have everyone's favorite politician on the list, Hillary Clinton.
We came, we saw, he died.
She sounds like an important person. Maybe she should run for president. Oh wait. She's so important, she was given $2 million or more from pro-Israel lobbying groups. That's a nice chunk of change. You know what? For a deal like that, maybe I should look into this. I mean, why can't I make money too, you know? I want to be a homeowner sometime in the next 40 years in this economy. I got dreams. We also have a long list of bottom paid for politicians. From Mitch McConnell to Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, Mitt Romney, and so many more, becoming millionaires for simply supporting Israel. So this is what it takes to become a homeowner in 2024. All right, okay. You know what? Ahmed, put it back on the line. Yeah, get him on the line. We got some business to discuss. We about to buy a house. And Zionist money in US politics is not breaking news. It's not shocking to anybody. Well, maybe some people. It's so well known, even The Guardian reported on it. Yes, The Guardian. Pro-Israel donors spent over $22 million on lobbying and contributions in 2018. That was just back in 2018. And furthermore, remember this which happened recently? Nasser Beydoun, a civil rights advocate and businessman from Dearborn, Michigan, was approached by AIPAC and offered $20 million to run against Rashida Tlaib. Hold on, wait a minute. Where can I get that deal? In this economy? This could buy me a used car, maybe a tent, and some groceries. It's great. As we discussed in our previous video on Israeli propaganda, this is how Israel influences politicians and US politics. This is also how they influence the media, through money. And as Americans, this sucks, or it should suck. First of all, Israel, a foreign entity, is deeply embedded into the fabric of the US government. That means the US government is not working for the interest of Americans, for what is best for Americans, but rather they're working for what is in the best interest of a foreign entity, Israel. And secondly, this is impacting American taxpayers. While the United States claims to not even have enough money to tackle and resolve homelessness, to bring Americans out of poverty, to provide free healthcare. Meanwhile, we have Israel, the foreign entity that is deeply embedded in US government and US politics. They have free healthcare or universal healthcare. They give settlers financial assistance. They give them rent subsidies, lower taxes, health coverage, and a bunch of other benefits. And Israel receives $3.8 billion annually from the United States. Plus, Sloppy Joe requested an additional $14.3 billion for Israel in 2023 alone. Bruh, I gotta do a DNA test. Maybe I'm Jewish too. Maybe I can go to Israel and claim some of that money. Give me some of that foreign aid. And by the way, Israel does not speak nor represent the vast majority of Jews and does not speak on behalf of Judaism. Zionism is not Judaism. And many Jewish groups stand against Israel and Zionism. More on that on another episode. Back to the United States. while it may cost approximately $20 billion to end homelessness in America. The US government is giving almost $18 billion to Israel in 1 year, while telling Americans that they don't have enough money to house them or to even give them affordable medical treatments. This is why the United States has a long history of voting against UN resolutions to hold Israel accountable, to hold them accountable for anything, for all the war crimes they've been committing, all their violations of international law. So much so, there is an entire article documenting the history of the US vetoing those UN resolutions. And we are all well acquainted with the most infamous hand raise, whereby the United States was the only nation to vote against a ceasefire in Gaza. And sadly, with all the above, the same can also be said about countries like Canada and Great Britain, and a few more, but we'll talk about that later. As long as Israel is allowed to bribe corrupt politicians in nations that have veto power, the ability to veto UN resolutions, then Israel can get away with genocide, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, and occupation. And that way, Israel can evade accountability. And that is messed up.
That's messed up.